Hey there, it's Seth Borko, the head of Skift Research and one half of the Skift Travel Podcast with Seth and Sarah. And today, I'm calling all strategic decision makers. Are you in need of industry and sector-specific data and analysis? Well, Skift Research has your back. We've got 40 new reports every single year and a historical archive dating back to 2013. Check out the latest at research.skift.com and get 10% off of your first year with code PODCAST.
Hello and welcome to the Skift India Travel Podcast. Today, we are thrilled to have with us Rama Mahendru, the India General Manager of Intrepid Travel, a company that has been talking about taking travelers on immersive experiences much before immersive experiences became a buzzword. Rama, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Peden, for having me, and it is a wonderful opportunity. Thanks for providing that.
Thank you so much, Rama. Rama, Intrepid Travel has ambitious plans for India as part of its 2030 strategy. Now, could you start by telling us why India is such an important destination for Intrepid and how does it align with your focus on immersive and sustainable travel?
India is on the trajectory or the growth trajectory, and our 2030 strategy is an evolving document. So what we are doing, we are just listening to the demand, the current demand, and adapting into our strategy. So it is not just about India, it is just that wherever we see the demand and listen the feedback from the traveler, our 2030 strategy has the ability to adjust its roadmap according to the need of the hour.
Mhm,
And India is now government is also focusing, but India has everything to offer. We have
mhm,
Himalayas for trekking, we have rivers for rafting, we have national parks for safaris, and oceans for adventure sports, and also we have a desert for expedition. So it is a
mhm.
complete, the diversity we can see in India, and that absolutely fits, aligns with the Intrepid travel strategy.
Okay, Rama, you said that you've been listening into what's the demand for India, the demand for and from India. So, what have you learned so far?
So we are seeing India is in demand not only internationally, but the domestic travel is also on in demand, and it is such an exciting space right now. And we also recognize that immense potential. So now people are no longer want to do that traditional luxury or comfort focused travel, especially for the younger generations. They really want to see the country in a different lens. They want to see that those meaningful experiences. So that is the shift we have seen. They really want to explore their journey or the destination in a different way.
You aim to bring about 30,000 travelers annually to India by 2030, which is a bold goal. If you see that in 2023 you had about 7,500 travelers coming into India. But what, according to you, are the key challenges India faces in attracting more international tourists? Because it is a challenge, right? Because India is still not, I think India's 2019 high of 11 million, almost 11 million tourists, has still not been achieved in 2023, or I don't see that happening in 2024 as well. Like you said, India has everything to offer, from the Himalayas to the rivers and desert. We've got everything. But what, according to you, are the key challenges India faces in attracting more international tourists in spite of being, in spite of having the resources?
Yeah, one of the challenges which we can see is the perception of India as a destination. You know, while it is a globally renowned for its history and culture, but there is so much to discover, like adventure tourism, like wellness retreats, and we have so many offbeat destinations, lesser explored regions like Northeast, Ladakh, Gujarat, Chhattisgarh. So I think we need to change the perception of India that it is not only has a history and culture, but it has everything. There is a variety of experiences that fit for each and individual's demand. I think by educating customers and travelers about these facts and ensuring the infrastructure supports, tourism can grow together.
Then what is the role of role of companies like yours in making that known, in letting people know about building that awareness?
Right, right. So, like 30,000 travelers, it is a ambitious target, but exciting too. We are seeing that there is potential in India. Let me break it down about what we are doing. So, we are expanding the product range, we are focusing on sustainability and making or marketing the destination in such a way so that we can attract more customers. So first, like, travelers want to go way beyond the classic Rajasthan and golden trips narratives. So what we are doing, we have launched this year a northeast region product which has a combination of tracking and cultural immersions. And next year we are launching Trek in Ladakh, where they are not just climbing a mountain, they are living with those, in a homestays, living, understanding those cultural traditions, and have those better understanding of the place and the people. So we are diversifying our product range and keeping the sustainability at the heart of whatever we do. And finally, storytelling and marketing will play a huge role. Like, we want to move beyond the typical kind of trips and take customers to the lesser known places. And you know what, this year we will touch 10,000 customers, and if we'll take 15 to 17% growth year on year basis, that 30,000 customers target, it very much within the reach.
Mhm. Rama, of course, you mentioned about trips to the Northeast, and you mentioned about destinations like Northeast and Ladakh. Let's not forget that infrastructure is often cited as a hurdle in India.
Right, right.
When you're talking about the Northeast, if you look at it, I think Guwahati is the only airport that's very well connected in the entire, all the seven states. Guwahati is the only airport that's well connected. And that too, the connectivity is basically Delhi centric, right? And then the other airports, there are some smaller airports coming up under the RCA scheme, but in spite of that, there is no connectivity from major metros to these places. So if you have to reach a place like Shillong, then you have to first go to Guwahati and then drive down to Shillong. How does one counter, to a company like yours, counter something like that? Because air connectivity is basic, right?
Right, right. So, like, we are recognizing all things, and there we know that there is a limitation in the connectivity. Despite recent improvements, that region still lacks that seamless international connectivity. Like you mentioned, Guwahati is the only gateway for the international client. And we also know that progress has been made, but there is still a shortage of high quality of accommodations, roads. But think about, if we will not promote tourism, then it will take more time for that region to develop, because we have seen that if we will not spread the tourism coverage, then it will put more strain on and over tourism problems that will occur. And then Rajasthan, Jaisalmer, they will never get rid of that over tourism problem. We have to promote the off-beaten regions so that government will also put their focus on the infrastructure, because they are also recognizing that tourism can play a major role in the development of the region. So that's why we are, finding the lesser known places so that we can spread the customer base and overcome the challenge of over tourism.
Okay. So basically you're saying that, earlier, in many cases it's, first build the infrastructure and then the tourists will come. But what you're saying is that let the tourists first go there and let the government see that, there is tourist movement happening, and then maybe the infrastructure will come in, right?
Absolutely, it's a chicken and egg, and we are
Yeah.
not putting always a government on the stake or responsible. I think all the tourism boards, all the trade association, travel agencies, tour operators like us, we have the responsibility to support the local economy, create those job opportunities for them, so that they can earn in their own hometown.
Mhm.
And tourism has the power to create that kind of growth for each and everyone.
Rama, we've spoken about infrastructure, which is one of the biggest hurdles when it comes to promoting inbound tourism in India.
Yeah.
The other is, what you also talked about is about perception, right? But there is also this perception about the fact that India is not a very safe destination for single women travelers, right?
Yeah.
Intrepid has a growing team of female tour leaders, which is helping the company to cater to diverse travelers, and of course inspire more women to explore, this particular travel industry as well. Which is this is an impressive, stride in gender equality, particularly in India. Could you talk a little bit about these efforts? And can you also talk a bit about, while you're talking about it, making the perception that single women travelers, how do single women travelers view India according from your experience?
Yeah. So first, I will take the women leaders point, and then I'll touch base the single women travelers. So we are incredibly proud of our female tour leaders in India, and at Intrepid, we believe that empowering women in tourism has a ripple effect. When travelers see that female guides leading tours with confidence and knowledge, it changes their perception about women in India. And both, like, not only customers, even in our supply chain, we have been receiving so many feedbacks from the local communities that these girls are really taking good care of the customers, and they are not doing their job, they are becoming a role model for others. I remember one of the our South Indian leader, Usha. She mentioned in one of the forum that when I took my customers to my village, and one of the girl asked by her parents, what do you want to become when you grow up? So it's a common question we ask, and she said, I want to become Usha. That is the impact of, seeing that this can be a job opportunity. And it was not easy for us to achieve that, really, because I remember in 2016, when we want to double the number of women female tour guides, we presented so many universities and institutions just to make them aware that this can be a job opportunity, because it was a male dominated space. No one think of to become a tour guide. So showing them successful stories, and sometimes what I felt that they were ready but their parents were not. So I had to call their families for the reassurance that we have a trusted supply chain, and your girl will be in safe hands, rest assured. So then we got buy-in, and we there was a, I think, 2016 and 2017 batch when we rejected all the male applications and hired just female leaders. So last in this batch 2024, we have achieved 40% representation of female guides in our pool, which was the same pre-pandemic level. So we aim to achieve 50-50 by next year.
That's really impressive.
And for the single women travelers,
Yes.
safety and cultural sensitivity are often their top concerns, and that's why we focus on creating a small group tours with experienced leader who understands these dynamics. So customers also appreciate the care we put into crafting the experiences where they can feel both safe and adventurous too. So India is an extraordinary destination, and our news, the sensational news are creating a lot of negative impact about the country. That's why they are feeling it is not safe. So what we have done, we have created women expedition trip. So we are promoting that solo female traveler come on the trip. It will be led by the female guide, and there will be the businesses which women led businesses will be curated in those itineraries. So that is the only one product which I can remember which has grown exponentially. Like we have started in Jordan, Morocco, Iran, and now it is happening in India, Pakistan, Nepal, Vietnam. So that is the one trip which has grown from 4 trips to 36 departures in a very short span. So female travelers want to travel, they were just looking for the safe space. So I think Intrepid has done beautifully, especially for the women, so that they can feel comfortable exploring the destination.
With more than 50 articles per week, exclusive feature stories twice a month, live events, podcasts, reports, and more, Skift is the source for global travel industry news. See what we've been up to at skift.com and stay ahead with the latest insights and trends shaping the future of travel.
Rama, let's talk a bit about sustainability since Intrepid focuses a lot on sustainable practices. You've had the Holy City Rickshaw project in Varanasi. Can you tell us a little bit about its impact and how did you think of it and how did it come about? And also, the second part of the question would be how can India balance its growing? Of course, the inbound tourism numbers are growing. So, how can it balance those numbers with the need for sustainable travel practices?
Yeah, sure. So I'll touch base first Holy City Rickshaw, then the second
Yeah.
part later. So Holy City Rickshaw project is one of those initiative that embodies what Intrepid stands for. It ticked all the boxes. It is creating jobs. It is about skill development. It is about women empowerment, and since it is they are electric rickshaws, so climate action is also ticked. So in partnership with the Access Development, which is our NGO partner, and the local community, we have trained and employed 15 women in Varanasi to drive in that city, which is deeply rooted in the tradition. So the success of Pink City Rickshaw in Jaipur has built on to this project in Varanasi. And it is not just creating the economic opportunities for women in a male dominated space, but also allows customer to experience Varanasi in a more personal and authentic way. And for those women drivers, it is more than about a job. It is about their independence, breaking the barriers and changing the societal perceptions. you know in September month I was in a fam trip, and I was doing that Pink City Rickshaw. Every men, it feels like they always move their neck to see who is driving, female driving. So our customer were amazed to see that we have accepted, but the society hasn't yet. They are
Mhm.
still in a shock. Why, how can she drive? and they were super confident, and they know what they are doing. So it is about what responsible tourism can create the magic, empowering local communities while offering something truly meaningful to the travelers. And the customers are loving those personal, authentic experiences. And you can imagine you are in the holiest city of India, Varanasi. You are riding a rickshaw driven by a female going to Sarnath, and in between, she is sharing with you some stories, and you will get a glimpse of, into their lives, how they have arrived at this stage. It was not easy for them to convince their families. So it is a beautiful project and very close to my heart.
Can you also talk about, about how India can balance the inbound tourism numbers with the need for sustainable travel practices?
Yeah. So, like that Intrepid, we have a decades of experience in creating those meaningful experiences, and sustainability is at our heart. Whatever we do, sustainability become the focus. Just what we have done recently, we have become a carbon neutral for very long time. Like, it means whatever carbon footprints we are generating on each journey, we were offsetting that. But now what we have done, we are making our travelers more aware, making them environmentally conscious. So, in our website, we have done a carbon labeling to each of the product. So, similarly, think about when you are going into a restaurant, ordering some dishes, and you can think, well, how many calories I am taking if I order this dish. In a similar way, when you are booking a journey or booking a vacation, by seeing on it how many carbon footprints I will generate if I'll go to that destination, and then they will see what are the projects Intrepid Foundation is supporting to offset those footprints. So that is the balance we are creating, to make them aware that how much footprints they will generate and how it will be offsetted. It is just, reminding them again and again that we have only one planet, and that is precious, and it is each one of us responsibility to take care of this planet.
Also, Rama, I think the fact that you are promoting these lesser known destinations, which we talked
Yeah.
about, the fact that in spite of the fact that there is an infrastructure constraint so far, but you're still taking travelers, to the far corners of the Northeast India or Ladakh, just to ensure that, the tourist, it's spread, right? It's not concentrated at a particular place, so that the tourist crowd is spread all over the country, which is something that is great and something that needs to be done, especially for a destination like India, because of course infrastructure constraint, even during peak season, tourist season, I know that places like Delhi and Bombay also get very crowded. So yeah, that's something that everybody needs to be mindful of. Rama, beyond adventure tourism, of course, the Intrepid founder recently also hinted at entering India's domestic travel market by 2030. So, what can you tell us about that?
So, the domestic travel market in India is an exciting space right now, and we recognize that immense potential. While our current focus is more international, we are starting to explore how we can cater to the Indian traveler looking for those experiential journeys within their own country. One thing we know for sure, that our strength is in sustainable and community based travel that can resonate with any kind of traveler. So we have also seen that Southeast Asia is so popular among Indian. So it is not only about the domestic travel, but our 2030 strategy says about the closer to your home travel. So not only domestic travel, but Indians can travel. It will be a regional travel in the Asia region. We are vertically integrated company, and we have country offices in all of the across the region. That gives us a competitive advantage, so that we can control and we can cater or tailor the Indian travelers demand and design whatever they want. As we get closer to 2030, we see our strategy evolving organically based on the trends in the domestic market and feedback from the travelers. For us, it is about being adaptable and listening to what travelers are looking for.
And how are you trying to position yourself in the in the Indian adventure tourism space as well, which is it's expected to cross about $2 billion by 2028.
Yeah, you rightly said, like, adventure tourism is in India is on the rise, and possibilities are endless. At Intrepid, we are positioning ourselves as a leaders in this space by having a balance, offering adventure activities that are not just thrilling but also responsible. So, for example, we are using home cooked dinners in all of our itineraries. We are using homestays, and our tracking, we ensure that our trackings have all eco-friendly routes. And now the focus is on the supply chain. So how they are managing their waste, how they are treating their water. So the focus is on only on the supply chain, because we can make the impact, or the idea is to have a lesser impact on the environment. So adventure, the growth of adventure tourism and cultural immersion will go hand in hand. So our focus is not to bring more customers in any destination. We are doing in a responsible way, in a sustainable way.
Correct. And finally, Rama, as we are about to go into 2025, and that would leave us with 5 years for Intrepid's 2030 goals. So, what excites you most about Intrepid's journey in India?
Yeah. So it is a very interesting time in Intrepid at the moment. We have recently refreshed our core values, which doesn't mean that our old values are, died. They are still live in the ethos and whatever we do. And this about this 2030 strategy. So this, what excites me more, it has so many projects, like Project Lincoln, which focuses on the North America market. We are seeing there is a immense potential. So at the moment we are focusing on that market, and it also says that Intrepid should be there more than tours, which means we can enter into the lifestyle brand, we can enter into the accommodation strategy. So having our own accommodation in each destinations, that is the most interesting part in Intrepid strategy. And we have launched one accommodation in Vietnam, and you never know, India can be the next.
that's that's fantastic. It would be interesting to see how Intrepid works with accommodation properties within India. Thank you very much, Rama, for sharing Intrepid Travel's vision and efforts in India. I've got to know a lot about what the company is doing through this conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me, Peden, on this podcast. And to the audience, I would like to say that travel is more than just a journey. It is about connecting with people, respecting cultures, and let's make every journey count. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone, for listening in. And that wraps up today's episode of the Skift India Travel Podcast. Stay tuned for more such stories that are shaping the future of travel. Thank you very much. If you're listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or any other platform, please subscribe, rate us 5 stars, or leave a positive review. Your support helps us spread the word about the Skift India Travel Podcast and ensures we can keep bringing you free content every week. If you're watching us on YouTube, subscribe to the Skift channel and hit the notification bell to stay updated whenever a new video drops. Thank you for your support.